knew my interest in agriculture, so we talked long about that. But he never took himself too seriously, which is what I always appreciated about Dale. I remember after he'd moved away to Minnesota for a while, and he came back, and I said, "Yeah, I missed that bald head around here." He said, "Well, if you'd just gone to the fridge and opened up an egg carton, it would have looked just the same." I said, "Yes, probably, Dale, probably." He always had a wit about himself and would always underplay what he knew. I would say, "What's happening with the grandchildren?" "Oh, there's too many to keep up. I don't know what's going on." But then, "What's happening with Jacob?" "Well, Jacob is," and I got a list. "What's happening with Mackenzie?" "Well, Mackenzie," and on down the line. He knew every grandchild and exactly everything they were involved with, to the point that he knew what he had to drive them to and take them to, what else they were doing. He knew each one of you and everything that you did. He was also a quick learner. Dale enjoyed reading and finding out new things. He, in his later part of life, enjoyed, as his grandson's already said, the stock market and playing with that, and loved to learn about it. I got some of those same documents, Jacob, that you did. Came online, instead of sharing them that way, he would print them off, copy them for me, and give them to me. But he wanted everyone to share in that. And when he found out, and truthfully did a number of years ago, our church investments were pretty flat, weren't making anything. We had a little bit of money in endowment people had given when they had passed, and that money was just sitting there pretty flat, and we were getting fees even charged for it. Oh, that tore him up when he found that out. There's better ways to do that kind of banking. He would come in daily to give me a description that he had worked out, and it had charts and graphs and all that. I'd say, "Dale, I trust you. Just tell me what needs to happen." So we got working with it, a number of people on finance board, and now we have investments that make a great deal. As a matter of fact, the roof is going to be replaced by our investments now that we have made, because Dale helped us look at that. Funny story happened with that, though, just a few months ago. After he'd had the stroke and he was recovering, and he was at the Elderberry, they had a speech therapist that was working with him, and he was limited. He couldn't speak much, but I went in one morning, and the speech therapist, young woman, was working with him. She was trying to get him to talk, and she said, "I don't know this morning. He's just tired, or he just won't respond at all." And I said, "Well, let me have a moment." And she said, "Okay." So I got up in his face and I said, "Dale, it's Tommy." And he sort of nodded like he knew. And I said, "I just wanted to tell you, we've decided at the church we're not going to do any of the investment strategies we're developing. We're just going to throw it out there and willy-nilly, whatever happens." That mouth started moving. Immediately, she looked at me and said, "What did you tell him?" I said, "Don't worry." She said, "I need to know. You got him going." And for the next few minutes, he had speech therapy. She was able to work with him because I could get with him and talk about it. But Dale loved this church. He loved the people here. He loved this place. And he was a cared supporter. He showed up. I can tell you where he can come and sit every Sunday. I would look for their face, smiling back. I loved when I would share something and it would get to him, and he would have to follow up and come in my office the next morning to talk to me about, "Just wait a minute, I need to question you about what you had said the Sunday before." But I knew it was because of his love of the church and how he modeled that for his children, for his child, and for his grandchildren. At the end of the section where Jesus deals with Nicodemus, this one that came by the night, didn't want to be seen, one that was a learner, he tells Jesus, asked questions and learned a lot from Jesus in just a small encounter. He ended that encounter, Jesus said, "But those who do what is true come to the light, so that it may be clearly seen that their deeds have been done in God." Dale's deeds were done in God. He did them so that he could be found to be a trustworthy servant, which I think he was. Faithful always supporting his Lord in whatever he did, and lived a life so that it would be a model for others to see, particularly his family. So as we remember Dale, may we all be as faithful as he was. Let us pray. Oh God, we are grateful that you shared this servant with us, even for what seemed like a short time. We pray now for this family that they might know your comforting care as we all will miss him. His delight in you, his modeling of your servant ways. We do ask for your comfort for us, but ask more than that we might be challenged, just as he shared your life through his life. May we do just that. For it's in Jesus' name we pray. Our closing hymn, number 115, Fairest Lord Jesus. We'll stand and sing together.
I would like to invite everyone downstairs for the reception after the benediction. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is thy kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever.